Good to see you, curious minds. Welcome back, curious minds. What if one prompt could build you a full-stack web app, a Telegram agent that books your flights, an AI-powered QA testing suite, and a daily stock report with screenshots, all before your morning coffee gets cold? Abacus AI agent claims exactly that. And after digging deep into their platform, their benchmarks, their pricing, and their surprisingly active open source ecosystem, I have thoughts. Ears perked? Good. Let's see if the fox gives this one her stamp of approval. The pitch Abacus AI agent is the autonomous engine at the heart of Abacus AI, an all-in-one AI ecosystem founded by ex-Google engineers, backed by serious research credentials, including NeurIPS publications. Formerly known as Deep Agent, it has evolved from a single coding assistant into a full-fledged agentic platform covering chat, coding, automation, multimedia, and deployment. The core promise is deceptively simple. Describe what you want in plain English, and Abacus builds it. Not a mock-up, not a sketch. A working, hosted, deployed application, complete with database, authentication, payments, and AI features baked in. They call it vibe coding. I call it the most ambitious attempt yet to make software development feel like having a conversation with a very capable, if occasionally stubborn, colleague. The ecosystem, here's where things get interesting. Abacus isn't just the agent. It's 5 interconnected products working as one cohesive system. Chat LLM is the multi-model hub over 100 models under one roof. GPT-5, 5 Thinking and Pro, Claude Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.7, Gemini 3.1 Pro, DeepSeek V4, Kimi 2.6, Grok 4.3, and Abacus's own Smog models. The magic routing system automatically selects the best model for your specific task, which means you're not manually deciding whether to use GPT or Claude for any given prompt. The platform figures that out for you. Abacus AI Agent is the main attraction. This is where the vibe coding happens. It connects to your browser, your GitHub, your Stripe account, your Gmail, and more, executing multi-step workflows autonomously, writing and running tests, deploying to custom domains, and learning from your feedback. Abacus Claw is the persistent agent. Built on OpenClaw, lives right inside your WhatsApp, Slack, or Telegram, maintains long-term memory across sessions, and runs on a dedicated Cloud Linux environment. It can schedule cron jobs, send you morning briefings, monitor price changes, run automated outreach campaigns, and generally behave like a digital assistant that never sleeps. Abacus Studio handles the multimedia side, video generation via Veo, Sora 2, and Kling, image creation via Flux and Midjourney API, all seamlessly integrated into the agentic workflow, so you can ask your agent to produce a marketing video or a set of brand assets as part of a larger task. And Abacus AI Desktop gives you a CLI and Chrome extension for agentic browsing and pair programming locally, with co-work mode for collaborative development. 5 pillars. One coherent platform. That's the pitch. And it's actually more coherent than most competitors manage. The architecture, let's talk about how it actually works, because the marketing buzzwords only get you so far. Abacus uses a multi-agent swarm architecture instead of a single monolithic agent. When you give it a complex task, it doesn't just have one agent plodding through steps. It spawns specialized sub-agents in parallel. A UI agent handles front-end aesthetics and component design. An architect agent handles database schemas and API design. A QA agent automatically writes and runs tests against the generated code. And a deployment agent handles hosting configuration and domain setup. They work simultaneously, communicate results back to a coordinator, and iterate until the full feature is complete. This is meaningfully different from Claude Code or OpenClaw, which are primarily single-agent sequential tools. Abacus's parallel approach can reduce build time for complex features, though it also means you're trusting the coordination layer to manage agent conflicts and consistency. The platform supports React, Flutter, Python, Node.js, and more. And because it handles hosting internally, you get checkpointing, version previews, and one-click deployment to friendly URLs or custom domains. The built-in database integration and role-based authentication mean you're not manually configuring Supabase or Firebase. It's just there, embedded in the workflow. The benchmarks are always tricky. especially when they're self-reported. Abacus claims their agent scores around 74% on SWE-bench Verified, which would put it in competitive territory with Claude Code. They also report terminal bench scores around 48.75%, claiming this outperforms Claude Code at 43.2% and Codex CLI at 42.8%. But I'll note straight up, these numbers come from Abacus's own testing. Independent verification is limited. That's not unusual for a commercial platform, but it means you should take the competitive claims with a grain of salt rather than accepting them as gospel. The real test is whether the platform actually works for your use case, not whether it wins a benchmark that may not map cleanly to real-world development workflows. The use cases, let's get specific about what you can actually build. Because the marketing page shows a lot of demos, but the real question is, what actually works today? For founders and no-code builders, Abacus can produce MVPs in minutes. A Stripe integrated e-commerce site? Trivial. A booking platform with database and email confirmations? One well-crafted prompt. A Telegram bot that monitors competitor prices, takes screenshots, and emails you a daily CSV report. Absolutely possible and documented. For developers, the agent acts as a tireless pair programmer. It writes tests, reviews PRs, audits code for vulnerabilities, and can even work across open source repositories to build features or extensions. If you've ever spent an afternoon writing boilerplate QA tests, you know the appeal of handing that to an agent and getting a full report back. For enterprises, Abacus offers internal tools, reporting dashboards, and automated workflows at a fraction of the cost of custom development. The enterprise tier includes private deployment options, unlimited usage, and dedicated support starting from $5,000 a month, which sounds steep until you compare it to the engineering time it replaces. Other notable capabilities: automated QA testing that covers navigation paths, form validation, and Jira bug creation. AI-powered job application agents that find roles, tailors resumes, and applies on your behalf. E-commerce price watchers, LinkedIn outreach campaigns, financial analysis dashboards, automated content publishing, and CRM integrations. There's genuinely a lot here. The platform is scope complete in a way that few competitors manage. The comparison? So how does Abacus stack up against the field? Against Claude Code, Claude wins on transparency and benchmark integrity and is terminal first by design, which some developers prefer. Abacus wins on model variety and the all-in-one hosting advantage. Against Devon is enterprise-focused at $500 per month and positioned as an autonomous software engineer for Jira automation. Abacus is more versatile, more affordable at $10 to $20 monthly, and has a gentler learning curve for non-developers. Against OpenClaw, Abacus Claw is actually built on OpenClaw, so it's more an extension than a competitor. If you want the OpenClaw experience with persistent memory and WhatsApp integration, Abacus is the way to get it. Against Cursor, Cursor's Composer 2.5 is genuinely impressive, built on Kimi K2. 5, and focused on coding intelligence. Abacus is broader but less specialized in pure coding tasks. The honest answer is that Abacus trades some depth for breadth. If you want the best possible coding agent for professional development work, you might still reach for Claude Code, But if you want an all-in-one vibe coding platform that handles chat, automation, deployment, and multimedia in a single coherent system, Abacus is currently one of the strongest options in that space. The pricing lets talk money. Abacus has 3 tiers. Basic is $10 per month with a $7 first month promo. You get 20,000 credits, access to over 100 models, web search, image generation, and document chat. Deep Agent is limited to 3 tasks per month on this tier. Pro is $20 per month and removes the Deep Agent limits. Unrestricted agent tasks, all basic features, claw hosting, studio access, and priority support. This is the sweet spot for most power users. Enterprise starts from $5,000 per month with custom models, dedicated support, API access, security features, private deployment, and unlimited usage. The credit system is consumption-based. Lighter tasks cost around 1 credit. Complex multi-agent swarm tasks can cost hundreds, but there are no separate charges for image generation, code execution, or document analysis. It's all bundled. Abacus claims 60% savings versus subscribing to individual services. ChatGPT, plus Perplexity, plus Zapier, plus Midjourney, plus hosting. That math is plausible for heavy users, though it requires you to actually use all those integrated capabilities rather than just the agent. The limitations no platform is without trade-offs. Abacus has a genuine learning curve. There are a lot of features, and it's not always obvious where to start or how to structure prompts for optimal results. The credit system can be confusing for heavy users, and it's easy to burn through your monthly allocation faster than expected. The benchmarks, as I mentioned, are self-reported. Until independent testing becomes more available, you'll need to validate claims against your own use case, rather than taking them at face value. And like all LLM-powered tools, Abacus can be unpredictable. Iterative building and testing is part of the workflow. You won't always get a perfect result on the first prompt, and learning how to refine your requests is a real skill. The Verdict Abacus AI agent is a fascinating platform with a genuinely ambitious scope. The all-in-one positioning is mostly justified. The integration between chat, coding, automation, and deployment is tighter than most competitors manage. The multi-agent architecture is a different approach, and one that could genuinely change how fast small teams can ship products. Is it the best coding agent for professional developers? Probably not yet. Claude Code and Cursor are still ahead in raw coding capability and transparency. But for founders who want to build without hiring, for teams that need a broader automation platform, and for anyone who wants to vibe code their way to a working product, Abacus is worth serious attention. The free tier is generous enough to experiment without commitment. The $10 Pro tier unlocks enough power to be genuinely useful. And the platform is evolving fast. What exists today is noticeably different from what existed 6 months ago. Check the link in the description, agent.abacus.ai, and try building something small. A Telegram bot, a dashboard, a landing page with Stripe. See how it handles your specific use case. And decide for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only benchmark that truly matters is whether you can build what you need to build. I'll see you in the next one. That's all for today, curious minds.